What is the oldest server in Minecraft? Hypixel? 2b2t? The Duck Foundation server? Mineplex? If you're a Minecraft veteran, then you already know the answer. And if not, then welcome. This is the history of 2bpp, Minecraft's oldest regular server. Today, I'll go over a brief history of everything 2bpp has to offer. What is it? Who the major factions were? And all 6 great eras. Who were Stevie Gamer 15 and John Fortnite? And how did their rivalry affect not only the server, but Minecraft as a whole? Let's start at the beginning. 2bpp was created by a player only known as Tiny Michael. The server was first opened on May 16, 2009 to serve one singular purpose: to allow Tiny Michael to build a nice little house. But he forgot to make the server private, causing his house to be destroyed within one day of the server opening. Tiny Michael was furious and set the world to hardcore, killing the player who destroyed his house and left the server, never to be seen again. Because the fear of dying permanently was now present in the game, players were a lot more hesitant to kill. This started the first era, the Peaceful Era. When the server first began, there was less than 10 daily users. Many of those players remain unknown to this day. Hundreds have come forth claiming to have been on the server, but no actual proof has been found. Except, of course, for one user, Stevie Gamer 15. That's right, the Stevie Gamer 15. At the time, he was new to Minecraft, as was everyone else. But even back then, we have footage of him playing on 2bpp. What you just saw was the only surviving footage of the Peaceful Era. There are still some buildings around nowadays, but most have long since been destroyed. Now, despite the name, there was massive tension during the Peaceful Era. There had yet to be any history in the server, so no players had any need to kill each other. That was, of course, until one of the first megabases, Fart World, was destroyed. This enraged the players of 2bpp, causing the First Great War, also known as the Lost Era. With the destruction of Fart World, players felt that nowhere was safe. A large portion of the player base that the Peaceful Era had built up was destroyed during the Lost Era. Many feared that this could be the end of 2bpp. However, one player refused to let that happen: Stevie Gamer 15. He created the first faction, the Stevie 15, to prevent all-out war from ever breaking out again. New players soon followed his lead, creating their own factions, which started the Imperial Era. The Imperial Era, sometimes called the First Great Era of 2bpp, was when the 4 great factions of 2bpp were all at their peak. The beginning of this era was marked by every faction recruiting as many players as they possibly could. Borders weren't fully set and no one was quite sure which faction was the strongest. But we're getting ahead of things. Allow me to go over each faction. We'll start with the Tood Empire. Arguably the strongest of the 4 factions, they had a tight hold over 2bpp's economy. One could even refer to them as the trading guild of 2bpp. Their central base, Tood Town, was one of the most protected bases in the history of 2bpp. If you were looking for any block, odds were you could find it in Tood Town. The true ruler of Tood Empire was never quite known. However, it often moved between 3 separate users: BTD7, Quagnotch, and Narugai57. BTD7 quit the server rather early on, so we'll skip going over them. Quagnotch and Narugai57 ruled over the Tood Empire for the majority of the Imperial Era. Quagnotch focused on keeping peace between the different factions, while Narugai57 seeked to expand Tood Town's borders. But we'll focus on them a lot more later. For now, let's focus on the next faction, the Goldless. The Goldless was a medium-sized faction, mostly consisting of Tood Town rejects or exiles. They had control over a large portion of the Nether. Their name, Goldless, was a joke based on the fact that their base was inside of a gold farm. Some say that the farm was built by the founder of the Goldless, but many players today say that it was only discovered by the founder, and no one actually knows who made it. The Goldless founder is a man who simply goes by the name Gold Da Hog. The Goldless were created to accept all players in the server, especially those who were rejected from joining Tood Town. Many famous players were at one point members of the Gold List, like Waving Tube Guy 43, Greg Minecraft, and Dewey Mohawk. However, some players wanted to return to the Lost Era. They formed many smaller factions, but they were collectively referred to as the Lost, referring not only to their desire to return to the Lost Era, but that there was no saving them and that they must be destroyed. This name was created by the final faction, the Stevie 15, a group of the 15 strongest players at the time, including Stevie Gamer 15 himself. Founded with the purpose of keeping order in the server, they spent much of the Imperial era fighting the Lost while keeping the peace between Toontown and the Goldless. Thanes were looking up for the server, until an event that would go down in server history: the Fall. On the 3rd anniversary of Toontown's construction, at 11:43 a.m., players awoke to find that the entire base had been griefed. The server was in a state of shock. How could this have happened? The Toon Empire immediately fell into chaos, as no one knew who did it. Many blamed the Lost, some blamed the Goldless. The Goldless said it was all lost, but it did not matter. Players were all looking for someone to blame, and war broke out. The Stevie 15 tried their best to quell the chaos, but eventually decided they would rather protect their own base than risk losing everything. And so the server fell apart in a matter of days. All the factions dissolved in one way or another. Quagnotch died in the wars, and Narugai 57 was nowhere to be seen. Gold Dahog logged off and wasn't seen again for years. With the factions all gone, a power vacuum was formed. Many Minecraft players saw this as their chance to get a foothold in 2BPP, and hundreds joined the server. This started the Era of Invasion. The Era of Invasion is known for a large uptick in total server users. This enraged the veteran players, as the queue to join the server went up to several hours. With the major factions all but dissolved at this point, the server became a battleground. Many veteran players would join forces to eliminate new players from the server. This had an unintended effect though, as many players joined the server simply to see how long they could last. Some players even tried speedrunning the server, attempting to kill the Ender Dragon, something that had never been done before in 2BPP history. Most players never even got to a stronghold. But one player, Black Yoshi X, made it all the way to the end. However, after entering the end, he immediately left the server, never to be seen again. Eventually, the horde of new players ended. The queue, however, remained at several hours long permanently, as hundreds of new players had already joined 2BPP for good. Many famous players today joined during this era, but one player stands out more than any other: John Fortnite. Known as a player who has lived a million years, he joined the server shortly after Black Yoshi X failed to beat the game. Not much is known about his early months of the server, but we do know that he was undefeated in PvP combat, defeating many great players. Some even speculate that he is the one who defeated Quagnotch. However, he is most known for his most important discovery. While many players were off fighting and exploring new lands, John Fortnite explored the ruins of Toontown. The town had all been picked clean of any notable loot. Except John Fortnite found something interesting while exploring Narugai 57's house. A hidden passageway revealing a book written by Stevie Gamer 15. The book contained orders from Stevie Gamer 15 telling Narugai 57 to destroy Toontown. This revelation shocked the community. Stevie Gamer 15 and Narugai 57 were the ones behind it all. Bounties were placed on Stevie Gamer 15's head, while Narugai 57 escaped the wrath after posting a public apology video.
Real quick before we get started, thank you to today's sponsor, Hardee's. Get a big bucket of bacon grease with discount coupon code NaruGuy57. Hey guys, it's me, NaruGuy57. I would like to apologize for bombing Toontown on 2BPP. That wasn't very nice of me, so I'm sorry.
Hundreds of players rushed to Stevie Gamer 15's base, but were destroyed by the still loyal Stevie 15. All hope had seemed lost, but then John Fortnite arrived. The two strongest players in 2BPP history were about to fight. In the end, John Fortnite came out victorious. ending the era of invasion and beginning the era of John. The era of John was a period where John Fortnite had total control over the server. His PvP skills were unmatched, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, and it eventually all went to his head. He decided that he would attempt to beat the game, a feat that no player had ever achieved previously. Players tried and failed to stop him, but it was only a matter of time until he had reached the end. He had no trouble fighting the Ender Dragon, and all hope seemed lost. That was, until the unthinkable happened. At the final hour, Black Yoshi X logged back in and placed the final bet.